The market and business have no nationality or borders.
And no smell either.
Eastern Ukrainian businessman Oleg Lokhvinov and his Western Ukrainian counterpart Yevhen Bisovsky agree that money is money. Bisovsky earns his as director of the Rosanpak packaging company in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv. Nearly 30% of Rosanpak's $40 million annual turnover is in Russia. Lokhvinov is director of the Conti confection company in the eastern city of Donetsk. Conti's $90 million sales in Russia in the first half of 2008 slightly exceeded those in Ukraine. Lokhvinov says Conti's priority is to expand in Ukraine, Russia, China, and other post-Soviet markets instead of the EU.
The European market has long been saturated and stabilized. It takes colossal amounts of capital to establish and distribute a brand in the European market. There are a number of countries where you can spend less and get a better result.
Yevhen Bisovsky says less than 1/4 of Rosanpak's sales are in the EU. He adds that the so-called Schengen customs zone, the EU's strict border control arrangement, makes it difficult for Ukrainian business to expand westward.
For our employee to head west, he needs a visa, initially for a month, then 3 months, and half a year. There's no such thing as a 5-year Schengen zone visa, which would allow him to enter and work the market. Instead, you need an invitation and to wait in long, long lines at consulates.
Trucks that deliver cargo to the EU often get stuck for days at borders because of the lack of streamlined customs procedures and a shortage of crossing points. Ukrainian truck driver Anatoly Ruchka of Dnipropetrovsk Oblast has driven in both directions. He agrees with the assessment of business people who give roads in the West high marks compared to those in Ukraine and Russia.
The same goes for the way those roads are maintained, how clean they are, and how well drivers are treated. In Russia, they also refer to us in the pejorative, kokol, unlike the West, where drivers are treated equally regardless of their nationality.
Some Ukrainians fear Russian investment will also bring unwelcome Russian cultural influence to the country. Yuri Pokalsky, vice president of the Lviv Chamber of Commerce, says that may happen, but should not be feared.
Ukrainians themselves should become stronger, and then such influences will not be so frightening. The money will work for their Ukrainian economy. We need to become stronger.
Pokalsky's counterpart in Donetsk, Hennady Chishikov, says Ukrainian business people not only recognize domestic Russian competition, but are developing a sense of national identity to meet competitors head-on.
I like the fact that Ukrainian retailers are beginning to form associations. It's a bit of an example of civil society.
But a lot remains to be done before Ukrainian business is fully able to compete, not least of which is the enactment of economic reforms, now stymied by political infighting in Kiev. Peter Fedynsky, VOA News, Ukraine.